But we got a lot to talk about. There's been a lot going on in music. We got, well, my side of the ballpark. We got Trippie Red's album, which with a year of flair, really,
Yeah, with a
with
little
a
Ric Flair.
Travis Barker. Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit. But then we also
Yep.
have your two albums, which are
Foo Fighters, Medicine to Midnight, and Weezer's OK Human.
okay.
Yeah.
So you want to open up a little Trippie Red, and then
Yeah.
we'll get
Let's
into it too.
let's do. And also make sure you go on our Instagram, toast dot in dot the dot morning,
Correct.
following along, and then Twitter, toast in the morn one. All right.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on. It's not that
It's
hard
good
to
stuff.
get.
We're
We don't
putting
have a
out.
whole lot. We
We
don't
don't
have a
have
whole lot of content on there,
We're
but
about, you better see our Hungarian info email right now on the gram. That'll be out
oh,
there.
oh yeah, definitely.
We'll get into
Put
it.
that on your stories.
But speaking, we have the deluxe edition to his most recent Pegasus album, Neon Shark vs. Pegasus, presented by Travis Barker, who's who's already like an established legend within his own genre, which that punk rock sound. Like as you know, the drummer of Blink 182,
Yeah.
and he's really become like a full blown producer at this point. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
facts.
the man's already made his money. He doesn't need to do any of this. He has no need to be working with some of these guys, but he seems to be going out of his way to work with young guys like Trippie Red, Machine Gun Kelly, and other guys, kind of like pushing that genre he helped establish back in those 2000s.
Yeah, for sure, for
He
sure.
he seems to be like a full blown legit producer.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess the music that he's producing has shifted for sure. Obviously there's a little bit of that pop punk flair
And
still
some of the high
scattered.
points of this album too was the production. The production was pretty damn good on this album.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the production was really good, really crisp and clean. It could sometimes it all depends how crisp and clean you go, where it's like too, you
Too
know,
produced.
yeah, too like robotic and computerized and all that. But
But this seemed to hit a
it
nice
sounds great.
balance.
Yeah, it sounds like Travis Barker, Travis Barker drums. Like like there's still that kick on his like snare. Like you just
Classic
there's
Travis
like
Barker.
yeah, you just sometimes you can just notice the flair from a person's voice, guitars, and their drum parts. It's
I
probably not
really
here.
like the Trippie, not the Trippie Red. He was on every song. What am I saying? The Machine Gun Kelly features on all these tracks because, as I said, at least I was a fan of his last album, kind of exploring
I thought
this
it was
same kind of stuff. Once again, it was
yeah,
unique and different. I appreciated it. But seeing him on here
yeah.
was cool. Working with Travis Barker again, as he did on the last album with Trippie Red, and some of these features were cool to me. Some of these people you know more than I do. I've never heard of Black Bear in my life. You know Chino Moreno, who exactly?
He is the Deftones singer. Second favorite album of the year, Deftones. I remember when we were reading the track
You
list,
were
I
excited to
saw
see this
that. I
one.
was like, what? Like, come on.
I mean, Travis got his connections, and then you have the other feature was who again? There was Scarlord and Zillakami.
Zillakami.
Zillakami is the correct name. Scarlord was a
Yeah.
surprise, and when I saw him on original track list, I was like, interesting. This track it was Dead Desert. Got easily the most clout out of all the songs on the album because it was a lot of all the other tracks were very pop punk, and this took more of a metal twist, and it
Yeah.
was
Interesting.
energetic to say the least.
Yes.
I mean, once again, it's never been really a genre for me. I know that's more of your thing, so you could speak more on its quality to the actual genre itself. But yeah, Scarlord like really gets in there with those vocals. That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
I was
No,
saying too,
for
I don't know how
sure.
people that do that don't lose their voice. That real like throaty yelling. It's
Well,
insane. It hurts.
people have. M Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold blew out his voice. He had to go see a vocal coach, Matt Heafy of the band Trivium. He blew out his voice, and we're like, there was a couple albums in the early 2010s where he didn't scream. It wasn't until like his past two albums the band came out that he started to scream more. So like, yeah, people tend to blow out their voices, but there are vocal coaches there that you can do it where it doesn't kill you, doesn't really
Destroy your
screw up
voice.
your voice. Yeah, exactly. And I tend to do that in the shower, but I know if I was doing that constantly on like a live show, I know I would not have a throat.
Yeah. But
So,
like, how do you think that song stands up compared to like the true metal rock songs that I know you're a big fan of?
well, I guess
Or
it's tough
especially
to
with
say.
Trippie Red on there too, yelling. What was he yelling that whole beginning of the track?
Hmm?
It's like drop dead, drop. He was yelling. He was
Oh,
getting in.
something
He
like
was in
that.
his
Yeah.
bag
Oh,
because
yeah.
Trippie Red in hip hop has been very known for his yelling and screaming and vocal levels. So I've always been able to see him on something like this.
Yeah. No, like it's really tough to say because it's like, okay, there's still those influences of like new metal in there. Um, Obviously, like compared to like song listen to music that I listen to, it's still not the
Like,
greatest thing, but it's sometimes when you just see it, it's you have to admire it, you have to admire Trippy Red getting Scarlett and Zillakami on on the song and on the deluxe and to perform a song like this where sure, Trippie Redd is a very ambitious guy. People liked his stuff. People don't really like his stuff. I could give two shits about his stuff. But I enjoyed it. It wasn't the greatest thing, but I enjoyed it for what it was. The song, it was fun. It was energetic. The screaming was nice. Nice to hear. Yeah, and I thought Zilkami was good as well. I know a
it's
lot of
definitely
people
on the
are
more mild side for what you normally listen to.
well, yeah, for sure. But yeah, Scarlord, he's been someone I've been really intrigued by for the past couple of years, because of his new metal and metal influences. So like it was cool to see him pop back up because I felt like he's been kind of just like dead in the water for like, the past like year or so.
Mhm.
But yeah, I
Cool to see
enjoyed
him
it for
back.
what it was. Yeah, exactly. I enjoyed it for what it was.
I think the biggest thing for this deluxe for me was just Travis Barker's influence in general, more the message behind it, because he's really started to become like an OG for hip hop for some reason. Like he's really started to see those budding stars within hip hop who have taken influence with from his music and his work in the past and really worked on it and helped them evolve that sound and teach them kind of like the right way to do it.
Yeah, no, I could see
It's just
that.
it's pretty damn cool to me. That's how I put it.
Yeah, and you kind of seen that with the shift in Blink-182's music. They've kind of shifted the past like half decade or so. They've kind of shifted like their tone of their music from it was pop punk and that was kind of like alternative rock, and now it's kind of like alternative, but it's a little bit more pop in there. Ever
Mhm.
since Tom DeLonge left and Matt Skiba from Alkaline Trio came in. So they did a little bit of a lineup change. So a little different when it comes to philosophy and all that. Um, so yeah, it's just changing a little bit and staying a little bit more relevant. Bands like Sum 41, who are also big in that area. They've kind of stuck their roots. There's nothing against them because for Sum 41, at one point, I would say I like their music more than Blink 182.
Okay.
But they've kind of stuck to their roots with the pure pop punk. Blink 182, give or take, their music here and there, like they tried different sounds, different genres, and it's clear that heck they were on X's final album,
Mhm.
you know, give or take how good that album was. Obviously, we know it wasn't that good, but they were able to change different avenues, go in different directions, and like I said, it's something they're maybe trying to stay a little relevant. Maybe that's a little bit scummy thing to say, but you're in the spotlight. You don't
But like you
just
said on
go
that
with the
note,
trend.
God bless his soul, but I think if he was here, I could see him on that exact song yelling. Like you saw in
Oh, for sure.
like that song he had with Kanye. I could a million times see him over on a track like that, just yelling his head off.
1 minute.
Yeah, just fucking screaming.
1 minute.
Yeah, he was getting like he had the voice where it's all throaty and like I'm like that hurts. That's like
Yeah, and even the part in staring at the sky.
yeah, he was exploring all that kind of stuff. You saw in like a
Yeah, for
couple of
sure.
the mix and stuff, but that stuff's cool. I would love to see where that would have gone. But my big takeaway from this album is does Trippie Red take more of a rock metal twist on his future projects? Was this just kind of like, here you go, this is what I'm experimenting with? Maybe he does a little bit of both. Um, but more over anything, I want to see where Travis Barker goes with production. I could see him elevating, becoming one of those higher tier producers, and even just making straight hip hop beats.
Yeah. Oh, I'm very curious to see. I don't know. Maybe Trippie's gonna maybe go in a different direction as well. Try different sounds.
We were
I
making
still like
jokes
the
about seeing Mario Judah step into one of these albums because he's always, he's a rock star. Yeah, yeah.
Travis Barker and Mario Judah
Mario
collab.
Judah. I
That'd be
also I
very
could
interesting.
see the Kid Leroy on a little bit more of a rock style song
That'd be interesting to see. Uh, I guess the lyrical content would be interesting.
because he's one of
Like
those artists that
the
has a little bit more vocal range than other hip hop artists.
yeah, for sure. Like I guess you could say like a downside for this album is how good was Trippie Redd's performance? At points it was okay. Points where it was just
There
like,
were some times where I
but
was
still,
surprised by his vocals. There were points
yeah,
where some of the ranges he was hitting, I was like, damn, I didn't know Trippie could do all that. Like some of the early,
yeah,
like so I'm talking like early Trippie one when he was hitting that thing. Like it was like he was a bit more of an acquired taste. Like you would listen to him and be like, I don't know. Like you got to get used to it. It was a little weird, a little throaty, a little yelly. But like he's become a lot more smooth with his vocals, a lot more developed, and you could see him working on ranges. Like it sounds a lot cleaner. Like his earlier projects just sound a lot more underground.
I guess that makes sense for people that are coming up. Obviously, your
But especially for
production
like
isn't.
that level of vocals, like it sounded like very raw vocals. But these seem to really polish. Travis Barker did phenomenal with the production. I don't know. It's just very interesting, man. Especially with Machine Gun Kelly, because he seems to be taking the same path as Trippie Red is right now.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I thought he had two features, and I thought he didn't do too bad.
Yeah,
Honestly, I thought
he
his
had the
vocals,
one we really liked on the first track was Pillbreaker with Black Bear. His last verse was really cool on it.
his last verse was good. Blackberries you can take, like you can keep. Like I don't.
It was almost
I
like
thought his parts
pop. Like it was weird to me.
there were I didn't hear any Travis Barker. It was like really like just electronic, just the
It was
production
like a
overall
straight
was just
pop
kind
song.
of yeah, exactly. But Machine Gun Kelly had a good part
Mhm.
when he came on. So yeah, there's that.
Like these
Yeah.
guys really are like absorbing this stuff. Like you could straight up see them on Blink 182 songs. They like were like if you pick them up out of 2001 and just plop them in 2020, like make a song. That's what it feels like to me with some of these tracks. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It throws me back. Like some of them I could see them being on like some of those old school cartoons we used to be watching. Because that a lot of those intro songs were like pop punk songs on some cartoons we would watch. It was pretty cool. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. And like on like the opening song to like a WWE pay-per-view. Nice classic.
Yeah. That
Although that was like alternative metal, like Limp Bizkit.
But I
So
also did like the track with Chino Moreno. I think it was Geronimo. Because at first I was
yeah.
expecting like a vocal performance from him because I didn't know who he was personally. And then he came out with this ominous sounding humming and like
That
these soft vocals, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty sick.
Yeah, no, that's like his style. Like if he has to scream, he does, he can. Um,
He was
but
like he sounded like he was around you. He was like an energy.
exactly. Oh, listen to White Pony,
Mhm.
Deftones album. And even the album that came out last year. Just it's a very that's really his style. And that's what
That's his thing.
Deftones really is. Yeah, it's just very atmospheric. It creates a mood, and yeah, like, and that's like really his vocals. So I wasn't really too shocked with Chino's performance because that's kind of what he usually does when it comes to his vocal
Mhm.
affliction, whatever,
Affliction,
something like yeah, um,
I
yeah.
think.
It's really what he does. That's really what he
Mhm.
does. So I enjoyed it.
For
I did
something
for the
that's
most
on a
part.
similar wavelength, though, where do you think this is compared to that Machine Gun Kelly album that we reviewed 3, 4 months ago?
I don't know.
Because they were on
Uh,
once again similar wavelengths. This was definitely a little harder, like in terms of like metal flares.
yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I
And
think
then
they're kind
Machine
of on
Gun
the
Kelly to
same.
me was a little bit more like boy band pop punk.
That was you want to talk about consistency? That was consistent pop punk
Mhm.
throughout.
This was a little
This,
rock, a little metal, a little punk.
yeah, yeah,
I think this was more of a journey for me. Like I liked a couple
yeah,
songs more on that Machine Gun Kelly album, but consistently as a project, this was cooler to me. This was more fun to listen to.
yeah. No, there was definitely a journey. But I don't know. I kind of think they're kind of the same area. I think I gave the other album like a 5 or a 6 or something. So it's probably around the same area.
I have
It's
this probably around
good.
like six and a
It's
half, right around there.
Yeah. I guess some of the other songs were just kind of like, they're kind of like throwaway, whatever. I've seen some pretty harsh reviews for this album. Um,
I think a lot of it comes from the fact that people like you basically have hip hop fans reacting to a genre they don't like.
yeah. And I guess people are just like, is
Because
Trippie
Trippie,
Red like is Trippie Red really does he really have his heart and soul really into this project? Like maybe they were saying like his performance isn't it's kind of half-assed and
because I think what it
no,
sounds like is you have basically hip hop fans that don't prefer this style of music, basic Trippie fans. You have newer Trippie fans that are like, this is not what I want, and then you have rock, metal, hip hop. I mean, punk fans that are like, this isn't as good as my traditional punk, metal, rock.
well, what are you gonna
So
say?
it's like both sides just aren't as happy with it. Rather than just taking it for what it is, it was a good experimental project. Like we said, Machine Gun Kelly. For what it
Yeah,
is,
for
it was good.
sure. Yeah, for sure. You gotta come with expectations. I had pretty low expectations coming
I
into this
had
album.
very low
I
expectations.
I couldn't give two shits about this deluxe whatsoever. And I guess that helped with my expectations. I had such low expectations, and it wasn't too bad. So good on you, Trippy. Good on your trips. Like honestly, like
The
yeah,
cover was pretty sick to me. It
yeah,
screamed
no,
metal. Had the what was it? He's riding on this neon
mm,
Pegasus shark day. It was very just like it was similar to some of the songs. It was just bold.
it's definitely interesting. Looks like a protest the hero album cover. You don't
I
know who
don't
they
know what
are.
that means. So
Yeah, they're a
it's a
pretty
I like this
great
cover art.
band.
It's sick. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
I would
And once
recommend
again, I
listening to
wasn't a
Protest
big fan
Hero.
of his original. The Pegasus album was very mediocre to me. It was one of the most mid albums I've ever heard. Wasn't a
I didn't
huge
listen
fan
to
of
it,
it.
so
Yeah, I know.
of course I
But
don't.
but I think this was like as a whole. So now if you include the two deluxe through this, it was a good way to give a large group of people you could find some track through 40 tracks, including the deluxe on here. You could find something you like on here, from hip hop
Yeah,
to rock to anything. You could find something on this album.
yeah. Look, am I gonna re-listen to this album all the
Probably not.
time? Probably not. No, maybe besides the Zilla Economy
That's a
Scarlet
good
one.
like workout
Maybe
song.
not. Yeah, yeah. And I also liked where is it?
Hillbreaker? Was it that
Uh,
one? No. Or was Geronimo's the one I liked?
Geronimo was good. I like swimming too, as well. Had a nice little guitar part.
I know
I
what you're
enjoyed
talking about.
that.
Without
Yeah,
You was also a good track, but that was, yeah.
yeah, and yeah, it was. Yeah, look, it's nothing,
It just
something. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's just
I think more for what it says for the genre and Travis Barker's big brother kind of like vibes kind of going on with some of these artists. It was a cool project to me. It was just cool.
yeah. Like, look, you don't have to enjoy it, but you gotta respect the fact that look, if you want rock and metal back in the mainstream, like this is it right here.
Hmm.
Like, you might not like it, but you gotta respect it, And what like you can't just go my pure music, my pure metal, and then you have this and you're like,
Purists are the
oh no,
worst.
like it's like, oh no, not like that, that's not how you do it. And it's like, what, then
That's how
how?
you don't get anything new. If you keep everything
Exactly.
pure and consistent, you
Yeah,
want something new.
yeah, and even and these bands that are trying to be ambitious and trying to break through the mold, people are trying to crawl them back like, no, you gotta stay DIY, you gotta go to you gotta host hardcore shows with like 100 people. That's it. No selling out, no selling out MSG, none of that.
You don't want to see
You
them win. It's cool because
Yeah,
you never know how things age. Because similar like how a lot of those earlier, even like that Kanye's 808s, if you don't remember, got a lot of hate. And when it first came out, like this isn't what this isn't the same.
yeah.
This isn't the Kanye we wanted. We want more like these albums. And then, it kind of pioneers an entire emo rap subcategory, and it makes way for artists that we love to this day, aren't the biggest guys in the game. So you never know if we could see a shift in the genre again where you see more of a metal rock sound become mainstream again.
I think we'll see it. I think we'll see it eventually, and that's just music in general. The whole landscape
It's
just
similar to like,
bunch of shifts.
yeah, it's like in 2017, 18, we saw like grunge come back for a little bit.
Oh, grunge. I thought pop punk had like a random just kind of surge in like the mid 2010s.
Hmm.
Um, I kind of missed that phase because I wasn't listening to that stuff yet, like more in depth. Um, Obviously it goes through a lot of phase, like I said with like WWE with like intro songs and like pay-per-views like new metal and alter like Limp
Hmm.
Bizkit, Drowning Pool, like in the early 2000s, and then obviously that has shifted to like the bling rap and
Yeah,
all that
it's pretty cool.
stuff.
I
So
like I said, just to reiterate, to summarize it, decent project. I'm really excited to see Trippie Machine and Kelly evolve and Travis Barker become a more established producer.
yeah, um, I guess I'll give it like a 5 out of 10. It was
Right,
okay, you know.
I'm right around. I'm definitely dropping just to give my sub note, my Machine and Kelly review from last night. I think I was a little high on the excitement then,
Yeah,
but they both fall to like around 5.5, 6, 6.5,
yeah,
right around that
yeah,
range. We're
yeah,
very
yeah.
average in content, but above average in ambition, which I love. I love ambitious
100%.
projects.
100%. 100%. You might not like it, but you gotta respect it. You gotta respect the hustle. So
It's
good.
my same note what I said with Playboy Cardi. That album was horrific, a lot worse than these albums. But the key but for that is that Vamp Cardi sound is gonna become mainstream, and I'll put everything on it.
I agree.
That
And,
Vamp
and
sound
Dallas
is,
agrees.
yeah, it's gonna come up. I mean, we've seen Uzi on his Instagram live posting that exact sound in leaks. It's coming. Vamp Cardi sound, that vampire sound is making its way. And then we're
Yeah.
gonna look back and be like, look, it engineered this whole way for a new thing. It's like the album sucked. Let's be real, but it's new and ambitious.
Yeah. Facts. Yeah, I agree. How does your dog think about it?
Yeah, he's I don't know. There's probably like a walker outside. He's like, "What was that flashlight?" As he does.
As he does. He tends to wander.
But anyways, anyway, what do you got over there? What are we looking at next? We're
What
looking at
are we
Foo
looking at
Fighters, or are
next?
we looking at the other project?
Now let's do some food fighters.
I
Um,
said Foo Fighters, so don't you try and tell me that I said Food Fighters.
I know I wanted to say food fighters.
I thought you were
Uh,
trying to mock me or something. I was like, I
no,
damn
no,
well
no, no,
know I
no.
did not say Food
No, no,
Fighters.
no, no, no. Yeah, you're good, buddy. You are good, I tell you. So okay, so food fighters. Um, lo- I guess a quick rundown of how much I
That was
love these
Medicine at
guys.
Midnight, correct?
Medicine at Midnight
I
came
listened to
out.
this one last night.
Yeah, I love these guys. Dave Grohl, former drummer of Nirvana. This was his solo project after Nirvana disbanded, obviously because of Kurt Cobain. Uh, they've been around for 20, 25 years. Love pretty much all their albums. Like the top, some of their big hits are incredible. Um,
I'm
the
sorry about
past,
that.
it's okay. Keep up, keep your head up, kid. Um, their past couple albums have been pretty good. Wasting Light in 2011 is probably my favorite album from them. Had a little bit more of a grunge hard rock sound. Yeah, love these guys. I can go on how much. God damn it, Dallas! Jesus Christ!
He's just interrupting you. He's gonna be.
I heard Papa Pete. Oh, jeez.
The hustle's a little bit of a disaster. Don't worry, we'll probably hear Nico on the other side in a couple seconds on your side.
Yeah, not yet, not yet. Thank God.
Nah, yeah, he was doing what the hell? Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, are you okay? You're like, oh, what the heck? Okay, all right, whatever. First album in like 3.5, 4 years. New album. Their singles that they came out with beforehand were kind of like they were really just kind of bland in my opinion. Besides Waiting on a War, I thought was pretty good. Um they were kind of like it was okay. So I listened to the album and it's not my favorite of theirs, but it's a pretty short album. Like 36 it's 36 minutes. It was pretty good. Like it wasn't too bad. Um yeah, it was pretty
That's
solid. Pretty
I
much,
mean,
there's really nothing else I could say with Foo Fighters. They kind of do what they do, and they kind of make some little tweaks. They're kind of like the last pure rock band around, and just add a couple more electronics and I don't know, just a little bit more of like a groove or something to this album
yeah,
that I can't really
it's almost like an
explain.
EP at this point with how little songs there was on there.
Yeah. Oh, great EP is Saint Cecilia that came out like 5, 6 years, 4 or 5 years ago. Great EP. It's actually it was free on iTunes. Such a good EP from them. I digress. Yeah, like there wasn't really anything too bad on here. Um,
I think a big problem people have, at least, so I've been not only listening on it, but taking my own little bit away from it. I can tell from listening to it, in its own, it was really okay at best to me. But I think taking into account their legacy, people are going to hate on this project big time. It's going to get a lot of slander. I mean, especially
well,
for who they are and were, it was subpar at best.
yeah, it wasn't their best for sure. Um, I like look,
Like I didn't see
it
anything.
was
It wasn't anything different. It was kind of just
for sure.
that's what it comes to. When it's nothing unique or different, it doesn't stand out. It was just a mess. So it just sits around that like 5 range for me. It was like okay,
Yeah, it's tough for me because I love these guys, and it's just tough in general when you just can't admit where it's like I'm not saying this is a bad album. It's just like I just don't want to force myself to like it because I love these guys, but like
like, this would be a cool performance album, but it's also something that once again I can't speak for because I'm not a diehard Foo Fighters guy. It seems like something they could have gone without because it's not different. There's nothing exciting. It's just like here's more music.
yeah, and the thing is like that was something that how much I loved about Wasting Light. There was a harder edge to them. You heard the grunge and like the hard rock influence. This it's a little cleaner. Like there's I don't know, it feels like there's a little bit of a folk influence somewhat.
Hmm.
Like I'm seeing here on Wikipedia, the genres are listed: alternative rock, dance rock, hard rock, and power pop.
Hmm.
So yeah, it no like they tend to do this. They tend to change up their sound. Once again, I respect it. It was just and honestly like I've seen some things on YouTube and like other reviews, and some of them are pretty positive. Um, More positive than me, honestly, and I respect it. That's fine. I heard some, you know, it, I'll say it's generally positive. There's some that are not gonna be too big fans, and they're probably just not Foo Fighter fans in general. Um, but yeah, like there was a couple songs I liked. I liked Making a Fire and Cloud Spotter. Those are my two favorites. And Waiting on War is a good one as well. And Holding Poison. Those are like my four favorites. I didn't hate any other ones except for probably Shame Shame. I thought that's like one of their worst singles, honestly. I did not like that single whatsoever. I could fully get behind that. But other ones are okay.
Hmm.
And but like the couple like the three that I listed are my favorite, and those are the ones I've actually been coming back to and listening, I still enjoy them. They're still catchy grooves. Uh, I s- Dave Grohl is great in vocals. Uh, some catchy choruses. Yeah, there's really nothing really else
It
to
was
it.
just very meh to me. Really,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just a lot of it felt just bland, but a lot of it there was definitely some. It was good true rock, but it just for once again, I'm not the biggest fan, but I have listened and I actually went back while listening to and listened to prior Foo Fighter albums, and it just didn't work off of any of the other stuff. Wasn't anything different, and it kind of did the same thing, but just not as good for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm excited for a general Foo Fighters album. I listened to the singles, it lowered my expectations, and it was just kind of it hit my expectations of, eh,
Thank you. That's about it.
yeah,
Like I appreciate it.
yeah. Like I wanted to give it like a 6 out of 10, but I was like, is it? I don't know. I'll go like 5.5.
Mhm.
Honestly,
I'm right around. I'm gonna go a
it's
flat five.
yeah. It might be their worst album.
It's not even
It
an
might be.
album, really. I mean, 9 tracks.
Well,
It's like it's a small album to a like EP. Like it's right around there.
don't
I wouldn't.
forget.
I wouldn't really call it like a project, really.
Well, when I think of, I guess if you don't want to say project, because when I think of projects, I think of just ambitious, like just thought provoking esque,
Like
sort of
that deluxe that we
ordeals.
just listened to is more of a project.
Yeah, yeah. This is like a standard album, I
Yeah,
would say.
fair, fair.
And yeah, it was. Uh, I expected better from Foo Fighters, and like I bet you their next album will kick ass or something because they'll rebound and
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put some work
yeah,
into it. How long have they been
yeah,
around?
like 25 years.
It's been 25 years. I was gonna guess like high teens to 20 years.
Yeah, their first album came out in 95.
Really?
Yeah, and
Damn, I
and
thought it was
well,
closer to 2000. Really?
no, because Nirvana ended 94. So, yeah,
Hmm, damn.
and but yeah, I love Dave Grohl, and
Okay.
that's one person I would love to meet one day.
But now for this next album, okay, it was "Okay Human" by Weezer, correct?
Okay, Human by Weezer, yeah.
This is a little bit more intriguing to me. I like this project more.
Yeah, I agree.
This one, if I'm not wrong, because I listened to this a couple hours ago, right? I listened to the whole project. Do I actually re-listened to a couple tracks? Did a little bit of my research
Yeah,
into them, but did I catch a? I think it was a Jay-Z homage somewhere in there, a reference.
I have no clue. I would have
I forget the track.
would
I'm pretty sure I caught a reference. Let me see if I can look into it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I caught some reference to Jay-Z in there, and I can't remember the track. I gotta look at the track list. But it was pretty.
interesting.
This was more of a journey to listen to. The last one was very stagnant for me, but this was more just intriguing. It was very interesting. There was a lot of more lyrical content, a little bit more. I like the sound.
There was a more like conceptual.
Okay,
If
I get what you're
yeah,
saying.
I enjoyed it. I haven't really dove deep into Weezer stuff. I know like their big hits. Island of the Sun is becoming one of my new favorites. I've like been just constantly playing that the hell of that song, and I remember one of my teachers in high school was a big fan of Weezer, some of their older stuff. Uh, but like they have like a billion albums, and I wasn't gonna listen to all of them in one
So,
sitting. And also, they have a lot of their albums have been very mixed.
mhm. So like looking
Like
at this, they had here that was it the producer duos Jake Sinclair and Rob Mathis. I don't know how to say it exactly, but I know they did work here. It says with Panic at the Disco. And then it says a band like a band that like Weezer recognizes the value of cringe virality. That's pretty funny.
Weezer's an interesting band. Rivers Cuomo is an interesting person, but he's
They
a very talented
seem
person.
like it seems like that's the kind of music that like shits on other types of rock and be like, this is how it's, you know what I mean? It seems more true style. It seems more pure to me.
Yeah, for sure. It's more like a lighthearted feel with their music.
Like if you said to somebody who enjoys Weezer, "Hey, I like Panic at the Disco," they'd spit in your face. That's how I'd put it.
I guess so. I guess so.
That
I
that's
guess
what
you could
sounded,
say that.
but it was that's how it comes off to me. Really, like it seems like somebody who was like, "No, I listen to rock." This is what they would listen to.
Yeah, for sure. I guess. I guess.
This is something I could see Chris listen to a project like this. I could see him finding this interesting.
Yeah. They're supposed to come out with a another album of Van Weezer. Uh little homage to the late great Eddie Van Halen, rest in peace.
Obviously,
Um,
that's where the van comes from. I got you.
that was supposed to come out last year, and then the pandemic kind of shifted everything. So it's supposed to come out in May. So, but this was like a surprise album. This OK Human, like it just came out of nowhere. Although they've done that in the past. In 2019, they came out with a teal album and a black album.
Let me call
So
Teal and Black.
yeah,
Seems like a mysterious group of characters.
they are very interesting. Rivers Cuomo is a very talented man. He did a song with Bob B.O.B.
Mhm.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy that song.
No, B.O.B. is
I
a flat
got the
earther.
magic. I know.
Fun fact.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Kyrie
Um,
was too, but he got off that train, he said. So that's all good.
but he does. He blesses the court instead.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. No. He doesn't bless the court.
Oh,
He
fine.
burns sage to get rid of the bad energy. Let's get it straight here. I mean, we're
I'm
on an
so
8 game
sorry.
win streak. Why would you
Okay,
apologize?
okay. We're not talking about the
You guys
Nets. We're
about
talking.
you guys about to hang a banner over like an all-star appearance. Like you're like, we
Well,
beat the Lakers.
I would do the same thing as well. No one would have thought we would beat the Lakers.
You know who else beat the Lakers?
The Nets.
Without KD.
I don't care. I really. Oh, and we beat the Lakers without an NBA roster. So
Mhm.
anyway, okay, human.
Back
Yeah, what
to
were we talking about again?
Weezer. Okay.
Back
This
to Weezer.
was more exciting of an album. Once again, like from the last one, still not anything crazy to me. Nothing out of this is like I probably won't go back and listen to this very much, to be completely honest. But in that statement, I think it's I could see myself maybe going back to listen to a track or two, definitely more than the Foo Fighters album.
Yeah, okay. I
I
can
think a
see
lot more
that.
explorative rock, a lot more intriguing. Definitely something that you could put on and listen to. Some of the vocal content, some of the lyricism was a lot higher of a level. Somebody could sit there and try and pick apart what's going on in that album.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Um, very orchestraic, very soothing. Like you can play this in the background. I feels like that's what like what Weezer songs are. Very you put in the background, you can relax, soothing, nice, does its thing. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it for what it was. Uh 6 out of 10, I would say.
I was gonna
I
say dead on
enjoyed it.
6 out of 10.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Maybe
That's what
six
I'm
and a
saying.
half,
That's right.
maybe,
But once it gets
but I
like
enjoyed it.
past the five, it's like I enjoyed it. No, it was good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. And it was honestly like the first Weezer album I've actually sat through. Not because I don't want to listen to other stuff. I just haven't got a chance to, and I'll really
Mhm.
listen to like their big hits. Um, so yeah, but I want to listen to more of their older stuff. So yeah, I enjoyed it. For it was a solid project.